didn't know it already, it's time for the Chet and Bill Show.
Chet and Bill, Super Thursday, Super Bowl week coming up Sunday. It's Super Thursday with Chet and Bill.
Between the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos representing the AFC versus the Seattle Seahawks representing the NFC.
What do you think about that game, Bill?
I'm liking it, man. You got the top offense in the NFL with Peyton Manning and his legion of receivers. Top offense, record-setting offense, taking on the top defense in the league. Top against scoring, least yards allowed in Seattle. Legion of Doom secondary. I mean, man, what more could you ask? Great offense against great defense.
I imagine they haven't played, but that defense has not played an offense like Seattle's going to put out there. I mean, can you imagine the 4 wide receivers that that Denver's going to have out there in Delker, Welker, Thomas, and Thomas? Did I say Delker? Anyway, it's
Eric Decker,
Wes Welker,
Demarius Thomas, and Julian Thomas, the tight end. Yeah, I mean, you know, you could throw a bunch of guys out with Peyton and he'd make them look good, but I mean, those are quality guys, every one of them, and he knows how to use them, and so yeah, that I'm liking Denver in that game. I don't want to give away my prediction, but I mean, we got some NFL films music, man. We might
just keep that a little bit in the background while we're doing the show.
Every now and then, just crank it up.
Keep it running.
I mean, when you hear that, immediately you think of guys like Walter Payton. You think of seeing him running the ball and Dick Bud.
I guess he was on that Chicago's Bear team with McMahon, the quarterback, and Willie Gault at wide receiver.
Yeah, Chet. I mean, 85 Bears. Super Bowl Shuffle. Hey, that's what we ought to pull up.
Yeah,
Super Bowl Shuffle video.
That was like a rap, right? It's like one of the newer rap things going on back then.
I mean, 85, 95, 05. I mean, Dan, you're talking like 28 years ago. But,
seemed like yesterday.
I remember that game, watching that game. They played the New England Patriots. Steve Grogan was the quarterback. John Hanna was Alabama great playing for New England in that game. But it was who can forget the fridge?
The fridge, yeah,
William,
the fridge,
Refrigerator man. Perry.
He was one of the first guys, big guys they put in the backfield, so to speak, right? To open the hole.
Yeah, I mean, remember.
And the super speedy Willie Gault. Did you know that guy is still running?
In like senior
events. They say he can still. He is so fast, fast.
I wasn't racing. Yeah, I remember. I mean, what a good-looking athlete. I mean, I can remember. I mean, those big legs. You know, I mean, the guy was speedster.
Willie
Gault.
Yeah,
I mean,
Willie Gault.
The guy was.
Hey, do you realize?
Crank it up a little bit.
You like that, don't you, Bill? Hey, Bill, how many Alabama players are in the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I probably should know that answer. I don't even know. Are there any?
No, there's not.
Not any this year.
Not any Alabama players in it. And a matter of fact, I think Tennessee is the most well-represented college football team in this bowl. The sad thing about it is most of them are old. You got Peyton Manning at 37. You realize he'll be 38 in March?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe. But
Tennessee's also, I think, Tony McDaniels, I think, playing for, I think he might play for Seattle, and the rest play for Denver. Robert Ayers, defensive tackle. Malik Jackson, defensive tackle. Ayers, I guess, is an end. And then you've got Britton Colquitt is the punter, right? Or is it Dustin? It's one of them. I think it's Britton.
I think when Kansas City played Denver, it was Colquitt, both punters. But yeah, I know last year with the Ravens there was several Alabama players, but can't think of any this year. But Champ Bailey, remember him at Georgia?
He's had a long
first
career.
Super Bowl first Super Bowl. Is going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt, and that's one of the little side stories I think that Denver wants to win it for him, along with Peyton, and that storyline. I mean, I don't like this. People bringing up his legacy. They're asking him. He says, "I don't know that I've got a legacy until I'm 70 years old." But I mean, Peyton, his overall playoff record. It's not just him, but
it's not bad.
It's not bad. I'm
past 500
defending
right?
him.
You passed 500.
Yeah. So this will cement his legacy. It means a lot, obviously, to him to win this game.
Well, there's no doubt he definitely wants to win it. But Peyton's a competitor. He wants to win every game, every time he steps on the field.
No given,
and he's one guy that don't ever like coming off the field. You know, when the Colts were running for that undefeated season a few years back, and it's getting toward the end of the year.
Game 17,
and it's like they're pulling him out, and he's upset about it, and they end up losing like the game. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it could have. I think he wanted to. Obviously, he wanted to win. He'd love to do something somebody the other teams hadn't done. I mean, it's like an amazing competitor. And if you're the backup quarterback to Peyton, you ain't playing. It ain't happening.
I don't even know who it is. What is that guy's name? I don't know.
I mean, you're not playing.
Didn't he play it down, or he got warmed up?
Maybe a down.
Yeah, I think he warmed up. Remember game 1? I think we came over and did a show, and while Denver was playing that Monday night, 7 touchdowns. I know we watched.
Oh, we were doing a show here. That's right.
It was 7 touchdowns.
Opening week of the NFL.
And we thought, man, this guy, what kind of year is he going to have? He may set the record, and sure enough, 55.
55, and they also most yards in a year, like over 5,400, almost 5,500 yards passing. The Denver team was the most prolific scoring team in the history of the NFL. There's no way Peyton can. There's no way he cannot walk away with MVP honors again, right?
I think that he's the consensus pick for MVP for sure this year.
Unless ESPN doesn't want him to have it, like they didn't want him to have the Heisman Trophy way back.
I know
that's still a sore spot with Tennessee fans. If you didn't know that, and I was reminded that that was the same time Chris Fowler basically come up and called Tennessee fans trailer park trash or something. I don't know.
I don't remember
that.
But I guess
silly stuff.
Yeah.
What was that, Bill? You motioning for me?
I'm loving that NFL music. I hope it's not too loud.
I'll turn it down a little bit.
I want to hear it, but yeah.
It drowns out some of our other uhs and ahs and stuff, right?
Yeah. But what were we talking about, Chet?
Yeah.
I mean, they're distracted. But yeah, the legacy. Peyton is going to go down Hall of Famer, no doubt. 1 Super Bowl win so far.
But here's I like to argue that I think he may be the greatest NFL quarterback of all time. And some people will throw out Terry Bradshaw, which obviously he won 4 Super Bowls. And, and Joe Montana, I think he won 4 Super Bowls, right? And then you've got John Elway with the 2 wins, right? Then you got Dan Marino with 0 wins. And my question to you, Bill, if you were starting a team today and you could have any one of those quarterbacks in their prime, at their best they ever were, which one would you pick?
Well, we didn't even mention, a lot of folks would mention Tom Brady.
Oh, that's right, Tom Brady.
In that conversation. Say I had one Super Bowl, 1 game to win, or just starting a team.
I'm saying we're starting a team, period. But you can have, if you're starting your dream team, and you've got to pick, I'm going to let you pick 2. You can pick one that's a starter and one that's a backup. Who are you picking?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to really analyze that. But, you couldn't go wrong. You couldn't really go wrong with any of those guys, frankly. Peyton.
Who's frankly?
Frankly. played in for the Packers back in the 50s. Frankly, everybody knows that. Chet. I don't know who that guy is.
So
I know you'd pick him. He's a Tennessee Vol.
It's not necessarily because he's a Tennessee Vol. I mean, it's
Bart Starr won several NFL championships, and
yeah,
he could even be in the conversation.
I'm talking about
2 Super Bowls, and
I'm talking about who
NFL
you
champions.
really think could really outperform people. You're talking about the guy that's going to make it happen. Yeah, and I don't necessarily think because you lost a Super Bowl or 2 means that you out of the conversation, because it's not just you. It's not just the quarterback playing those games.
To me, it's the ultimate team game. Of course, it's our favorite sport, football. But yeah, I mean, the quarterback is the focus, and definitely the driving force. I mean, you got to have. There's been several Super Bowl wins. With guys like Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. I think Brad Johnson.
Who was the quarterback for the Redskins back in the late '80s?
Doug Williams.
Yeah,
was
that's probably who I was talking about.
As always mentioned, is the first black quarterback. I mean, he was a good quarterback that year, but yeah, I mean.
Overall, he wasn't a great quarterback, right?
No, not as a.
I mean,
not
a
career.
consistent career.
But yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, obviously Peyton is. I mean, you look at the record books, and I don't see any reason why they won't stand for several years. And, you're going to open it up and you're going to read Peyton Manning holds all these records. So
he's second in the all-time yards passing in a career
already.
Yeah, he's well. You say already, I mean, sort of end of his career. But if he hadn't have missed that 1 year, he'd probably be within about 1,000 yards. Right now, he's about 5 or 6. Maybe he'd be within about 2,000.
Well, who's up there? Marino?
Is it Marino? I'd have to pull it up. It might be. Star said it might be Favre. It ain't Fowles. I don't think.
Yeah, it probably is Favre. But yeah, I mean, you couldn't go wrong with Peyton, especially at the level he's playing this year, or really for his whole career. I mean.
So let's go a little further with this. Let's go a little further. If you could have your pick of any running back in NFL history. Let's say 2 again. You need a couple of running backs. I'm going with since I'm going to have a good team for him to be on. I'm going to go with Barry Sanders for one.
I was going to mention Barry Sanders first.
And if he was healthy, maybe even Bo Jackson. I think we only got a glimpse of how good Bo Jackson really could have or would have been if he hadn't got hurt. I mean, I think he still holds the record for most rushes over 90 yards in a career.
Yeah, I mean, Bo was the talent that could have been, and he decided to play baseball, and of course the unfortunate injury. But I don't know that I could go there just because of his career was not that great, overall.
That's a lot of good running back, yeah.
But let's see, Barry Sanders.
You go Walter Payton. Where's he at on your list?
He's in the top 5. Eric Dickerson was a good one.
Yeah, he was really good. Tony Dorsett. Emmitt Smith.
Jim Brown. I mean, Jim Brown probably. I might go Jim Brown.
Yeah, I think he had one of the shorter careers. And
Jim Brown had the NFL record. Only played, I think, 9 years and quit to be a movie star.
He played in The Dirty Dozen. I don't know if you remember watching that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was his first movie, but I remember I've watched that movie several times.
Yeah.
It's an excellent movie.
We'll have a movie, Chet and Bill movie show one night. But
maybe we ought to start doing, one of the things we'll throw in this sports stuff is movie previews. I went and saw The Lone Survivor here.
I actually saw that this week, too.
I went Saturday. Oh, by the way, after I left there Saturday, one of the guy from church, and then after that we went to Red Robin. Man, they have good hamburgers at Red Robin. I love a Red Robin ham. I had a burning love hamburger. Now, not because, well, It's just the name of it, okay? Because not because I was sitting there with somebody I've got burning love for, because actually I was with a buddy of mine.
Back to the all NFL team. How do we get on this?
I don't know.
But Larry Zonka.
Well, if you needed tough yards, if you just wanted to,
Yeah, I mean, what was his name?
Somebody named Taylor the same way, right?
The guy out of Texas,
Ricky. Ricky.
The big bull running back.
Oh yeah, got 2 Heisman trophies.
No, not Archie
Griffin. No. Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell
played for the Oilers. Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
You don't hear nothing out of him. I think he's in bad shape, right?
Yeah, he is. I think he was actually at the Heisman ceremonies, but he couldn't even get up on stage.
That's sad.
Yeah, he's had a lot of problems. Billy Sims was a heck of a player for the Lions for several years. But, I mean, you go with Peyton, Walter Payton, and Jim Brown's probably my picks. No, I was going to go Barry Sanders. Well, Barry Sanders.
I'd take Barry Sanders and Jim Brown in the backfield.
Yeah.
I'll take
Gale Sayers, a shortened career who had a big year.
How about wide receiver? You got to go with Jerry Rice right out the gate, right?
Jerry Rice.
Randy Moss in his prime,
I'd probably go, and you may...
Calvin Johnson.
I probably would. But for his era, you may not know who I'm going to come up with. Don Hudson played in the 30s for the Green Bay Packers out of Alabama, held every receiving record up until the 70s.
He was out of Alabama?
Huh?
He was out of Alabama?
Yeah, but he was just a dominating for his era. Like, I think he scored 100 touchdowns or 99 touchdowns in his career, and nobody broke that until, I think, Rice or Largent or anyway. But he...
Wow.
Yeah, he was...
pretty impressive, especially back in the 30s, because you weren't necessarily considered as much of passing game back then, were you?
No, it wasn't, but he was just a superstar above. He was like a Babe Ruth of receivers. But anyway, Jerry Rice, not the fastest guy, but we all know his career accomplishments. But, man, right now there's some good receivers.
There's some great receivers right now.
Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
I'll tell you,
is a beast.
Marvin Harrison had a great career with Peyton. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily throw him in there as one of the all-time greats, but, I mean, he sure looked good for Peyton. And then you got Terry Bradshaw's 2 wide receivers, Lynn Swann and Stallworth.
Maybe. I mean, I don't right offhand, if you think of 2 teammates, Lynn Swann and John Stallworth is as good a duo tandem, on one team.
Yeah, they were great. And, of course, that's back when we were kids, right? I mean, we were youngsters when they were playing, right? For the most part.
We had the Steelers' first Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 9 against the Vikings, and they went on to win Super Bowl 10 against the Cowboys. Oakland wins the next one over the Vikings. The Vikings and the Bills are a couple of teams that were always several Super Bowl losses.
Jim Kelly had 4 losses in a row for the Bills.
I'm looking, the Bills
went 4 years in a row and didn't win any of them.
91 through 94, every year they lost. They're 4 in a row.
That's unbelievable.
And I know.
And Kelly had Kelly was a good quarterback. Of course, he spent some time of his career in the USFL. That's right.
Actually did see him play in Legion Field for the Houston Gamblers against the Stallions. But yeah, the Steelers, I mean, they dominated the late 70s, 75 through 80.
Hey, what year was the Vikings and the Chiefs? What year did they play?
That Super Bowl 4.
Because I had I remember
that.
An electric football thing with the Vikings and the Chiefs. You remember the vibrating football games?
Yeah.
I was thinking that was pretty cool, honestly. That's when you had to set your toys up, turn it on. I mean, you had to set the guys up, turn it on, and run the play, and then put them back in position again and run it again. I mean, and then the passing guy. It was this guy. He's like twice as tall as everybody else, and he's throwing a felt football, and you got to try and hit one of the guys pulling the thing back. You know, this felt football had a little slit in it, so you put it on the thing and you pulled it back and let it go. There was no way to hit the guy. You had to be right
I mean,
up
he
on
was
him.
just as likely to turn around and go the opposite direction. But we digress. But yeah, the electric football. I mean, look at your video games now compared and put it up against electric football. But I mean, we had fun with the thing.
We did. I mean, kids like to play. That's all this. The kids like, if you give them something they're going to play with, give them a box. They'll play with a box, right? It doesn't matter. But anyway, you keep digressing, Bill.
Chet, let's get back on course.
Golf.
I did a little, as I call it, an impromptu show the other night.
Yeah, I hurt my feelings on that. Didn't even tell me nothing about it. I mean, you know, you teased me that we were going to get together and do it Monday.
Well, that's another.
And anyway. I was kind of waiting on you, and then I didn't,
you never said, "Hey, Bill, where you at?" What's going on? I didn't hear.
Come on. But anyway, and to be honest, I hadn't listened to your show yet, Bill. I guess I need to do that.
Well, if you would be quiet, I'll tell you what I talked about.
Oh well, we're going to have we're going to have the highlights of Bill's solo Bill show. The and Bill show.
But anyway, Chet,
I'm here.
I
Bill.
remember Super Bowl III. Super Bowl III.
What year?
1969, January. New York Jets, AFL champion, led by...
Did Joe Namath play in that game? Hollywood Joe. Is that the game that...
Chet,
Broadway
you're cracking
Joe?
me up.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, did he wear his pantyhose during the game?
Chet, that was after he rose to stardom, and when he predicted a win.
He did predict a win, but
he said, I guarantee, not even a prediction.
You can't
we
guarantee
can pull
anything.
that clip up, but
he might have said that, but you
win.
can't guarantee anything.
Well, he did.
He might have said he guaranteed
Look
it.
at the score, 16-7.
That's just because he won it don't mean that he was... So what would have happened if he had...
It was the gutsiest...
What would have happened if he had lost the game? What was gutsy about getting out there and playing football?
Well, it was almost... Chet, let me...
Football's pretty gutsy.
People want to hear my take on this.
Oh, here we go.
I want to hear... I mean, this was a new thing. This was the 60s. This was coming up on the 70s. Things, a brash guy coming out saying, I'm guaranteeing a win. This is the upstart. This is the AFL. Remember, these were two separate leagues, the AFL and the NFL. The AFL champion had been soundly defeated in Super Bowl I and II by the Green Bay Packers, but here they were again. People were saying, man, these Colts, they're like 16-point favorites, some 15-point favorites.
Was that a Johnny U team, or is that somebody else?
Earl Morrill and Johnny. It seems like Johnny Unitas was hurt that year. It was still...
I met and talked to Earl Morrill, or whatever his name is, and Johnny Unitas. I've talked to him.
Morrill went on to play for the Dolphins, too, as a matter of fact. But, yeah, but anyway, the Jets come in as a big 2-touchdown favorite and ended up winning that game and kind of forced the hand, kind of prompted the merger where the several of the AFL teams were incorporated into the NFL. They split into the two conferences that we have today, the AFC and NFC. And if you look at the Super Bowl, they went on to win. The AFC teams really became prominent, winning. The Dolphins, Raiders. I think Pittsburgh was an old NFL
the Chiefs?
Team. The Chiefs were an AFL, NFL, or AFC team. But
so back to back, anyway, the Jets and then the Chiefs.
There. And as I recall,
and then the
merger.
Colts,
was,
too, 3 in a row.
Well,
Right?
the
Cowboys are NFC, right?
yeah, I think the Colts. There was some switching over to conferences. So the Colts obviously were an NFL team, and then they switched over to the AFC. And same thing with Pittsburgh. Anyway, Pittsburgh was an NFL team, and then they became an AFC team. But I've always been an AFC guy because, I liked the Jets back in the day. And
Why'd you like the Jets?
I gravitated. Joe Namath, it was just a personality. It was an Alabama player.
Okay, like
and
me and the
9
Denver
years
Broncos,
old. I was
right?
8 years old.
Me and the Broncos. 8 years old. Is that when you played for the? How old were you when you played for the Chiefs, Bill? Maybe a little older than 8.
Chiefs played Lakewood. I played 65-pound when I was about in first grade.
I did too. Who'd you play for?
Coach Carlin.
For Lakewood.
Yeah.
You played for Lakewood.
Black uniforms.
But you played for Lakewood. I think I played that year. I played for Davis Hills.
Well, I played for Davis. I think
65. We played together on the Chiefs
on
team, on the City League team.
I thought we played with Davis. But yeah, and then I played.
You weren't on the Davis Hills team with Varnado as a coach, were you?
I played 1 year for Davis Hills Y team.
Anyway, you keep digressing.
And then I played for the Chiefs and Northern League Chiefs and the Rebels, Rams, All City.
All City what?
All City.
Yeah, right.
I was All City. Pee-wee. I was All City.
Well, all right. He was All City, folks.
Yeah, I was. Me and Butch.
Hey, man. Hey, in high school, I was all bench. Nobody could hold down the bench like me, Bill.
You were good at it.
I'm telling you, I was one of the better bench players. Anyway,
Chet,
I keep digressing, Bill. So
Chet, Super Bowl 48. Can you believe that? 48.
This will be the 4th time that a Manning has quarterbacked the Super Bowl, right? We got no, it actually be the 5th time. This will be Peyton's 3rd Super Bowl, right? Be his 3rd. He won his first one, lost his second one, and then he's playing in this one. And of course, Eli won 2 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah, the
really stunned
Colts.
New England. Eli did, right? Eli and the Giants stunned New England one year when New England was supposedly by far the better team, right? Big win.
14. Or that was the 21. No, that wasn't.
That obviously 2008, right? No. Which one was it? Yeah, it was the year that it wouldn't have been 12. No, it would have. No, it was the other one. They played twice. New York in 2008. That's when the Giants really. That was the major upset. 08. Didn't New England go undefeated the whole year until the Super Bowl? Almost had a perfect season.
Yeah, Patriots were 12-point favorites going into that game. First team to complete a perfect regular season since the Dolphins. That's right, and but they couldn't close the deal.
Stunning you with my off the cuff trivia.
All right. It was the
Bill, by the way, is pulling it up and looking on the computer. I just pulled it for a lot of it.
It was the receiver that.
I don't know that.
David Tyree, that the pass was thrown against his helmet. Oh, it's like Eli was scrambling for his life, and then he threw it up, and the guy caught it like on his helmet. And pulled it. I don't know. That was
anyway. It was a great win. I was glad because I'm not a New England fan now. You know, when I was growing up, I was a big New England fan. I liked the Pats when I was growing up. Maybe because they had Stanley Morgan that used to play for Tennessee.
Yeah.
There you go. It's all
they had
about
John
the Tennessee
Hanna
players.
on offensive line. But, yeah, I mean, we're looking at Denver. This is going to be, what do we say? John Elway led him to 2 championships.
He won 2. He didn't. He lost. How many did he lose? He lost 1 or 2 before he won one, didn't he? I think he lost. I think he was 0-2.
Go back to '87 and '88. They lost to the Giants in Super Bowl 21, and then the next year in 22 they lost to the Redskins.
Speaking of Elway,
and then they lost to the Niners again in.
So you tell me he played in 5? Bill, wasn't Elway in a classic game in college? Throwing one out here. Wasn't that the band game? Wasn't he the quarterback in the band game where the band ran on the field and the play was still going on? And
yeah, that was what they call out on the West Coast the game, the Stanford Cal game, and of course he played for Stanford, but I think he was in that game. But back, Super Bowl 21 was the Broncos, led by John Elway in just his 4th year. They lost that game to the Giants, and then the next year they lost by a wide margin to the Redskins, and a couple of years later they lost again to the Niners, 55-10.
So he played 3 out of 4 in a row, huh? And then Buffalo. Then Buffalo goes on a 4-year.
Buffalo's 4-year streak of losing.
Wow. Kind of like dynasties, right? Well, I say dynasties. I mean, Buffalo was a great. Obviously, those 4 years was a great regular season team. But I mean, they were in it 4 years in a row, which means they were really good for 4 years.
They won their conference championship. The first year, the Bills. They lost only 20-19, and it was, what is his name? Scott Norwood missed a field goal.
Yeah, that's not Jim Kelly's fault, right?
And then it seems like the next 3 losses for the Bills were pretty bad, and then Niners win. Denver finally made it back in 98-99 to win.
So I'm watching the game here. The end of the game a couple of weeks ago, and we had Seattle was playing. Who was Seattle playing to get into the Super Bowl? I done forgot now.
They played the Niners for the
that's who I'm talking about. So it comes down to the last few. If I'm not mistaken, it comes down to the last few seconds, right? Pretty close. I mean, last minute or so. I mean, they had to make a play, and this defensive back made a play, right? And all of a sudden, the game ends, and this guy's going berserk, and he gets interviewed by Aaron Andrews. Now, what was this guy, Sherman? What was his name? You want to tell me again? Richard Sherman. Now, Bill, there's a lot of people defending the guy, and I know he went to Stanford, and I know he graduated top of his class. I know he's a sharp guy and stuff. As the old saying goes, though, you get one shot to make a first impression. And his first impression on national television, being interviewed by Aaron Andrews, was not good. Right? You got to agree with that.
Right. I was watching that, and I didn't know who he was. I mean, I know he's one of the top couple of cornerbacks in the league.
Well, he says he's the best.
Sure. Yeah, but he.
Do you have to say you're the best if you're the best? Peyton don't walk around saying he's the best.
No, it was to me it was poor sportsmanship because he was. It was more focused on himself, not as a team.
Absolutely, and then that choke thing he did to Crabtree or whatever, or the slice or whatever he did.
He said he did that to the quarterback.
Whoever did it to you don't do that.
Kaepernick, but this was a very interesting thing to me that I followed all week with Sherman. That it turns out.
Did you just get through eating, Bill?
I just swallowed some water here. But
he's drinking. Oh, by the way, this is a
this segment brought to you by Sobe Life Water.
So, and by the way, we're not getting anything for this, but if you like soda, go have one.
0 calories, by the way. But, yeah, I mean, the more, as the week went on, I learned more background on Sherman.
Good guy, right?
All the talk about him. Yeah, I mean, but he had a history, and he's known as the trash talk guy in the NFL, apparently. And this is not anything out of character for Sherman.
I didn't know that.
But, yeah, as
of course, I didn't know who he was, like you said before that.
But, I mean, the guy it's like, I mean, people are different, but, I mean, we want to see a guy, show me your skill on the field, but you don't have to tell me. I'm going to see it.
I think they said in that game that the guy that he was covering was only thrown to like twice the whole game.
Yeah, they said that was a fact, and he made the play when it counted there at the end. But yeah, he's definitely if you ask him, he's the best. But he's definitely one of him and Darrelle Revis are considered the top corner cover guys. But yeah, I mean, the more this was dissected and talked about all week, right, in sports talk, but then you hear the story, and this is a guy from Compton, kind of the hood, so to speak. He was a salutatorian, second in his class, went to Stanford, graduated.
I think he graduated pretty high at Stanford.
Yeah, very high GPA. He's known as a smart guy, but he's a self-promoter. I think that's a
he got a lot of endorsements after that.
I
mean, I don't think he thought ahead enough to do that to get endorsements. I mean, that was off the cuff what he did. I mean, he was just, he's coming down from an emotional game. I mean, emotional plays and stuff at the very end. I can understand a part of it. But sometimes you got to get a grasp a little bit, though, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't cuss. I thought he was going to, and a lot of guys would have probably, I give him that. And but yeah, I mean, when you stick a mic in front of a guy, he was just fired up. But we know the guy, the type. He's the trash talker. He gets under your skin. I don't care for Crabtree either. The receiver there, he don't come up and make the big play. But I know he said, "Oh, I was just going up, patting him on the butt and telling him good game." But
I don't know about you. If I've just missed out on a big play, I'm not real hip on telling the other guy, "Hey, good game." I mean, I know it's sportsmanship type thing, but when you're in a real competitive thing, it's not something that you really want to go do. Is congratulate the other guy right then. Just not something. If we be honest with each other, that's not something we want to do. But anyway, so he's got these big major endorsements now. More. I mean, he got. That was a big payday for him. That 30 seconds on the TV at that that night. And did you see Erin Andrews? You look at her face while he was going off. She's like, "What am I going to do with this guy?"
It's like he said.
Don't you be talking about me or something.
Said who they say I'm this. Who says that? And
Crabtree. That's who Crabtree.
I think she handled it about as well. She was taken aback, but she handled it okay. But yeah, I mean, this guy, he's in this age of Twitter and social media and all, guys, he's the kind of guy that wants to make a name for himself, and he definitely has this week.
So, right, Bill,
2 weeks, actually.
Here we are, 40 minutes into this thing, and, the game's coming up on Sunday, and I know you got an opinion on who you think's going to win, and I'm sure you've already figured out who you're going to pull for in the game. So, Bill, I'm going to throw it at you. Who you pulling for, and who you want to win? I bet I can guess who you're pulling for. I'll bet you're pulling for Seattle. And I'm going to say that you're going to think that I bet you think Seattle's going to win the game.
Okay.
Am I right?
You couldn't be any further from the truth, or you're wrong.
Well,
Chet's wrong again.
I'm wrong again. Hey, just I'm always wrong.
But no, I'm rooting for. I kind of alluded to the fact that I am an AFC guy. I don't always.
Guess I wasn't listening good enough, was I?
Yeah, Denver's the AFC team.
Yeah.
But no, I don't mean there's been times when I've liked NFC teams, but I'm going with the Broncos as a rooting team. I've really come to appreciate Manning in the last 2 or 3 years more than, especially after this, getting dropped pretty much. Flat out dropped by the Colts.
A team he built, brought back to life, so to speak.
And a guy with the dignity that he has, it hurt him. You could tell in the seeing the conference when he left. What he's done for that franchise. And sure, they had the number 1 draft pick, but to come back, from the surgery he had.
And be
a record,
at his
best
age.
ever.
And at his age. They say he doesn't have the velocity he had throwing the ball before the neck surgery, but he's putting up as good or better numbers, which goes back to the thing that he's just flat out outsmarting people, Bill. He comes up to the line, reads the defense, and he knows where he's going. It's one of those things I was talking to some people yesterday. It's like a lot of these quarterbacks, they drop back to pass, and they kind of look and find open guy. Peyton's found open guy before they even snap the ball. He reads the defense so well.
He is, he's amazing. It would get on my nerves
Omaha.
through the years. It still kind of does, just especially here lately, mic'd up. But it's. I heard somebody breaking it down, a quarterback, on the radio this week, but kind of talking about, people say, what does Omaha mean, and what are all these calls that he's making? Most of it's is just decoy,
messing with you, right?
Yeah, and then he'll have a keyword like, whatever it,
Billy Bob,
yeah, Chet and Bill, and then the
Papa John's.
And that perks up their ears, and then he'll call, who he's looking to, the routes he's got him, what he sees, where he's going to throw it, and then he'll. But anyway, as I was saying, he'd get on my nerves with all that, that barking and stuff. But man, the guy, he knows what he just knows what's.
Yeah, I'm so hoping that he has a good game this week.
Yeah,
because, I want to see the greatest regular season put up by a quarterback ended with a great Super Bowl victory. There's no doubt the year he had as a quarterback in the regular season is the best ever, right? No doubt.
Yeah.
And so to top it off in the Super Bowl, that would be, because he's going, like we said earlier, he's going to get MVP honors of regular season. And if they win the Super Bowl, odds are he'll be the one getting the MVP.
I would
award for it as well, right?
But there's advantages to. Peyton he's won a Super Bowl. This is his third Super Bowl. Did they lose one?
No, this is going to be his
playing in.
This is going to be his. I think we said it's going to be his fourth, right? He's lost. No, this will be his third. He won one. He won his first one he was in. He lost his second one he was in. This will be his third, right?
No, he only has the win.
No, he played in another Super Bowl, right? Come on, am I wrong? He lost to New Orleans Saints a couple of years ago. About 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we're forgetting. They won.
Not you are.
Well, you said they won twice.
No, I said no. I said they
won in.
No, I know we only won one Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 41, 2006 season over the Bears.
I got a picture hanging in my room in there.
Then they lost the 31-17 to the Saints. But yeah, this is as I was saying, this is his third Super Bowl. But that's just a huge thing that he's got that experience. Russell Wilson, the QB for Seattle, I like him a lot. He's not your, big stat guy, but he's very good young quarterback. Actually, this is a stat I ran upon that he has the best 2-year record for a first 2-year player of any quarterback since 1950.
I can believe it. Peyton took over a rotten team when he came into the
Seattle's
NFL.
Had a couple of good years. So that's an advantage, and Peyton has a lot on the line. For his legacy, and he's going to prove that he can lead this team. He will be the first quarterback for leading a team, 2 different teams to victories. If they win.
The Super Bowl, if
in the Super Bowl.
So he ain't the first guy ever to play for 2 different teams in a Super Bowl, is he?
I don't think so, but
who might that
be?
That'd be kind of hard, right? Who might it be?
Quarterback.
It might be a lot of people.
I don't think Montana made it with the Chiefs, did he? But anyway,
that's irrelevant.
As we were saying, I'll be rooting for the Broncos. Chet, I played in personal note another fantasy league this year. Drafted Peyton this year in that league, and I won the championship in that league. So, it's my little personal
blind
victory there.
What do they say? A blind squirrel will find an acorn every
now.
Every hog or whatever, yeah.
You've been known for drafting Peyton,
and I'd probably do it again.
So, but in my prediction,
taking a long time to get to it.
We were talking about Red Robin and movies.
That was way back for the prediction.
Earlier this week, I predicted 28-24 Denver. I can easily see a higher scoring and even a closer game. But I guess I'll stick with 28-24 or maybe 31-24. Matt Prater, best kicker, kicked a 64-yarder this year for the Broncos. Seattle's going to get some points. Denver's defense was not real impressive the first 14 games of the year. I read that they were giving up like 381 yards. The last 4 games, they've ratcheted down, only giving up 281 yards. Their points given up they've stiffened up. So Denver's peaking right now. The big win over the Patriots got them in there. So Chet, obviously, you're probably going to concur with my prediction with Denver. But what are your thoughts on the game?
Since you're finally going to get around to me,
I need a drink.
Well, you ought to after about a 5-minute rant. So, my prediction on the game, I think that the combination of Manning, Welker, Delker, Thomas,
who is
Thomas.
This Delker feller?
Decker. It's Decker. Eric Decker. Wes Welker. Okay? Demaryius Thomas. And Julian or Julius, whatever his name is, the tight end. Right? Those 4 guys are healthy now. Now Sean Marino, or however you say it, no Sean Marino. And the other running back, Monty Ball. I mean, you're looking at an offense, and the offensive line protects Peyton. So you're looking at an offense that can about do anything they want about any time they want. I don't care if it is a half decent. Not a half decent, maybe I'm talking. Maybe the best defense in the league. So, like you said, I'm looking at Denver to win, obviously, but Russell Wilson scares me with his running ability because, I mean, he's a guy, pocket pressure, you get him outside, guy's got enough speed, he can make plays. I mean, he's a good football player, there's no question about it. They're not an offensive powerhouse. I mean, they're only averaging, low 20s a game, so they're not an offensive powerhouse. And like you said, Denver's been playing, especially against the run here lately. Denver's, which was on earlier in the year, not doing very well against the run, has been doing good against the run. So their defense has come together. I'm looking Denver. I'm 31 to 34 points for Denver. 31-24 Denver over the.
Right along the lines of mine. Yeah, 28, 31 points. I see Denver getting their points. Whether Seattle. We hadn't even brought up Marshawn Lynch.
He's had good. It's funny about Marshawn Lynch. I have him in fantasy league, and he never does any good when I have him in the fantasy league. When I get rid of him or something, he starts doing better. But
he had a good year.
But anyway, we're close. We're 51 and a half minutes or so into our show, Bill. I think we probably ought to cut it back now get us ready for the Super Bowl coming up Sunday. We'll come back on Monday. I want to do a show Monday and really go over the game. What do you think?
All right, that's the deal. We'll set that time and get a podcast
going.
And
let's do it live.
Hey, you set it up, brother.
So anyway, Bill, as usual,
Chet, the Olympics are coming up.
I want to talk about the Olympics. When is it anyway? We don't start. You're going to try to get us going for another 10, 15 minutes. You start the Olympics. By the way, old Dan got on me about us not. He said we need to stick with football. We didn't know enough about Olympics. Actually, you knew more about Olympics than I did, but
he was right.
But I'm just not.
Turn this music up just for a second.
I'm into the curling. Oh, I love that.
Get your blood flowing.
That ESPN. No, that's
Monday Night Football.
That's right. Hey, what about some Hank Williams? Are you ready for some football? That's the one I like. That was a bad thing what they did to Hank, wasn't it? He made one comment and they pushed him out. What did he say that they pushed him out? You remember that? He make a comment they took it as a racial or something? Or
I don't know.
Hank Williams, Monday Night Football. Are you ready for some football? Bill's looking for it, people. I mean, we're trying to, we're going to try to, maybe we'll just try to, that's what we'll do. We'll try to end here we go. Try to end our show on this. Here we go. Uh-oh, Bill, pause. What happened? Wait a minute, it's buffering. Give us a second. Well, is that it? Yeah, here we go. All right, Billy, as I was going to say, I thoroughly enjoyed our little podcast we had tonight, talking football, having a little, banter with each other.
Our special forces are in full flight. We're coming by air and on the ground. Monday Night Football taking over the town. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. It's gonna be a battle in the NFL tonight.
That was just good, wasn't it, Bill?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that.
So it's Sunday night.
Sunday night Super Bowl. Not Monday night. But,
Patriots. No, Patriots. No, Broncos and the Seahawks.
Broncos and Seahawks.
All right, Bill and Tate.
From New York, New Jersey this year.
We'll get. We didn't even cover the coldness of that game. I guess we'll talk about that Monday.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous putting the game out in that type of weather. It's not fair to the fans when you've got other great venues that you could have the game in. But like I say, well, let's see what it turns out to be, okay? We'll do that. Was that Elvis in
Yeah.
the stands? So, again,
Yeah, I had a good time talking about Super Bowl, some of the Super Bowls in the past, and breaking it down a little bit for Sunday. And
we'll
Chet, I know one of your favorites, Bruno Mars, is going to be the entertainment halftime.
I probably
may not be one of your
I may not
favorites.
even watch the halftime, but anyway.
But yeah, it's going to be a big show all day. The pregame coverage, the commercials. Hey, we may even talk a little bit about the commercials. That's always worth.
That was a good
mention.
commercial I saw the other day, but like I said, we keep, we can keep bringing stuff up. We'll never end this show. So,
All right.
so what we'll do, we'll get this, we'll put the final touches on this show and get this thing up for all of you fans to listen to. We'll obviously let you know on Facebook, and we'll put it up on Spreaker, and we'll put it up on iTunes, and we'll even have a link from our website to it. So, again, Bill, I enjoyed it. Until Monday night, this is Chet of the Chet and Bill Show. I'm out.
This is Bill on the Chet and Bill Show, and we thank you for listening, and tune in next week on chetandbillshow.com, chetandbill.com. We're out.